Welcome to lecture series on DC machines and transformers. So by this video, we are starting the entire module of DCMT, DC machines and transformer. So before going into Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, I want to tell you some basic things that you should understand before going into the concept of machines. So Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction is the basic working theorem for all machines, let it be motor or generator or transformer. Basically, we can classify machines as AC machines and DC machines. That is the very basic classification. And in some other aspect, we can classify it as static and dynamic. So one classification is AC machine and DC machines. Another classification is static versus dynamic. You please note down these things. I will not be writing these things on board. And there is one other classification inside the dynamic. What is dynamic? What is dynamic? A dynamic machine is a moving machine. For example, in your house, you can see a motor. Is it any moving part inside a motor? Yeah, definitely. When you are switching on, there is some parts inside the motor is moving. So it is a dynamic device. Dynamic device, or it is a dynamic machine, otherwise it is known as a motor. In generator also there is a moving part. Have you seen a generator? Not such big generator. Some of you may have seen small generators also in domestic purpose or in for some functions in our home. We are keeping a generator standby. That is a diesel generator. I hope all of you know at least seen such a diesel generator, small generator. So there is also some part is moving inside, some noise is coming. Noise is coming means definitely some moving happens. That's why noise is coming. But can you give an example for a static device which comes under this subject? Can you give example for a static machine that also relates to Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction? What do you mean by static? What do you mean by static? We can briefly classify as static and dynamic. In dynamic, we can further classify it as motor and generator. Devices, all electromagnetic devices which allows Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction are classified as static and dynamic. Inside the dynamic, I am further classifying it as motor and generator. In both motor and generator there is a moving part, so they are dynamic. Let me ask you one thing, can you give an example for static system? What do you mean by static? There should not be any moving part inside. Yeah, please think. Transformer. Have you seen a transformer? Of course. All of you will definitely see transformer in your premises. Nearby the road, you can see a transformer built inside a mesh, iron mesh. A transformer is there. I hope as electrical engineers or electrical engineering students, all of you should know about transformer. Is there any moving part inside the transformer? While you are moving close to a transformer, you may hear very small noise, but it is not due to motion. some small noise is there. I will explain what is that noise. But in transformer, no moving parts. No moving parts inside a transformer. So it is a static device. Again, there is one more classification, that is electromagnetic devices or machines can be classified further as AC bar DC. In DC machines, there is again DC generator and DC motor. In AC also there is AC generator, AC motor. In this classification, we are not doing the classification based on the motion character. We are doing the classification based on the operating current, AC or DC. So, where the transformer will stand? In DC part or AC part? Transformer is a AC device. So, transformer also comes under AC. Please note this thing. Transformer can be seen only in AC system. What is the supply system that coming to your home? Is it DC or AC? All of you know it is AC, and in that supply system transformer is an essential component. So transformer is an AC device. Have you ever seen a transformer with a DC system? No, you cannot see. That's why AC is ruling the world. Nowadays AC is ruling the world. DC you can see only in toys or some small devices only. Everywhere you can see AC. Why? Transformer is there with AC. Transformer is there with AC. Why I am stating like that? Transformer can be only work with AC. What is the use of transformer? For transforming current or voltage from one level to another level. By using transformer only, you can transfer the current from Idukki to Calicut. I hope all of you know that AC current is generating at far away points like Idukki, or not only in Idukki. We are bringing the current from other nearby states also. So for transferring the current from one point to another point, we need step up or step down. Step up or step down. The details that we will learn while we are going to module 4. Transformer is there in module 4. But before that, for transferring current from one side to another side, we are generally stepping up the voltage, because if we are generating 230 volt, we want to step up it to 11 kV or more, or 110 kV. Then only we can transfer it through the tower, through the communication system, through the transmission system. Towers are there. Then it will come to your home. Before that, we will step down from 110 kV to 11 kV. Again, it will step down to 415. 415 volt. It is the domestic voltage, 3-phase voltage. Why we are doing this transfer? Otherwise, large loss will happen. If we are transferring, if you are increasing the voltage level, current level will decrease. A transformer is a constant power device. So, if voltage is increased, in order to make constant power, current will decrease. So, a very small current will be there in the line. If current is very low, what happens? Loss will be low. What is the equation of loss? I square R. So, we need to keep a very small current in the transformation stage. And voltage should be very high. Otherwise, the entire voltage will dropped as a loss. So that for transferring any power from one point to another point, we need this operation. We have to increase the voltage and reduce the current. That is only possible with transformer. And that transformer will only work with AC. That's why AC is ruling the world nowadays. Apparently researchers are going how we can use DC instead of AC. That we will learn in the upcoming module, upcoming semesters. Now as a basic you should keep this thing, as transformer is only working with AC. Nowadays AC is dominating entire world. Okay, so these are the things we were going to learn in detail in this semester with this subject. And all of these devices, transformer, motor, generator, AC motor, DC motor, for all the things, the basic thing is electromagnetic induction and Faraday's law. So now we are moving into Faraday's law. Now we are moving to Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. First of all, I will explain the statement. What is the statement of Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction? I know that this thing is very known to all of the electrical engineering students because this is there in the physics textbook itself from the high school classes also. So, Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction states that whenever flux linkage associated with a conductor changes, an EMF is induced in it. I will repeat it. Whenever flux linkage associated with a conductor changes, an EMF is induced in it. So it is somewhat that speaking with a conductor. Is this a conductor? No, this is a coil. A coil is having two conductors. This is first conductor, this is second conductor, and these two conductors are connected. This arrangement is known as a simple coil. Anyhow, basically it is a conductor. So I want to make a change in the flux linkage of this conductor. So basically, first of all, I want to link some flux with the conductor. For that, I will place a magnet, north pole and south pole. So now I am having two magnets, a north pole and south pole, or a pair of magnets. Now, flux linkage is there. From north to south, the flux will pass through air. My statement is important. Through air, flux is passing from north to south. Why so? Why I am stressing that point? Because there will be a return path from south to north, and that return path will be through the material. This will be the entire magnetic structure. Magnet will be looking like this. So these north and south are connected. That's why from north to south the main flux passes through air. This is air. After reaching south, this flux will again pass back to north. This is known as secondary path or return path. But you should very careful that the return path is established through the magnet, not through air. So, whenever flux is passing from north to south through air, that path is fundamental or basic or main flux path. And this is a return path. So anyhow, the flux is passing like this, north to south and return path from south to north. Now this flux is passing through this medium of air. So a magnetic flux is present here. So flux linkage is there with my conductor. Flux is linking. But what was our statement? Whenever flux linkage associated with the conductor changes, an EMF is induced in it. So, flux linkage is there now, but I want to make a change in the flux linkage. How I can make the change in flux linkage? Please think. What was my question? How I can make a change in the flux linkage. For making a change, there is two methods. First method, the conductor will change with respect to space. That is, I have to rotate the conductor. Rotation of conductor. Rotation of conductor or coil. That is one method. Second method is, I am not ready to move the coil. Coil should be static. Then who will change? Rotation of coil or magnet. Either coil or magnet. Both are applicable in first case. If magnet is ready to move, we can move the magnet also. Then also some change will happen in the coil. Change of flux linkage will happen in the coil. But if I am not ready to move any of this part, the second method, flux should be varying. Flux should be varying with respect to time. That is, a flux should be like this. Time varying flux, or the flux should be a AC flux. What is the nature of alternating current? That will vary throughout the time period. So, if the flux is produced by some AC current, then we don't need to move the magnet or coil. Such a system is known as static system. We already explained this in transformer. We cannot see any part of the transformer is moving. But in transformer, its flux is AC flux. So no moving is needed. Without moving, change in flux linkage happens. So please forget this thing. This is applicable in case of transformer. This static induced EMF is applicable in case of transformer. Now we are discussing only about dynamically induced EMF. Example, not motor. Example, in motor also EMF is there, that we will learn later. Basic example is generator. Some part is moving. So suppose this is a generator and I am going to explain this Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction in this generator. So in order to make a change in the flux linkage of this conductor, I will move this coil. I am trying to move this coil always. Then when the coil is in this position, some flux linkage is there. After some time, the coil will be in this position. So flux linkage changes. Again it will return to the original position. Like that, flux linkage is changing by time to time with respect to position or space. So such a system is known as dynamically induced EMF. So EMF will be induced in the coil. EMF will be induced in the coil. So current will be produced. So this is the thing that happens inside a generator. So for the statement, you should write whenever flux associated with a conductor changes, an EMF is induced in it. So there is two type of induced EMF or induction, electromagnetic induction. There is two type of electromagnetic induction. One is dynamically induced EMF, example is a generator, and the other one is statically induced EMF and its example is transformer. Okay. Okay, so now it is the time to make the things conclude. So I already explained the statement of Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. Whenever flux linkage associated with a conductor changes, an EMF is induced in it. It will happen only when the flux linkage of the conductor changes. So, we need to apply a change in the flux linkage. Then only EMF will induced. I am having a magnet. Suppose this is a magnet and I am having a conductor. The magnet is producing some flux from north to south. Suppose north is here, south is here, and I am having a conductor. But there should be some method to make a change in flux linkage. In this system, flux linkage is there. From north to south, flux will pass. A conductor is also there. So, we will check these two separate methods. Then only EMF will induced. In statically induced EMF, no moving parts. No moving parts. So, flux should be changing by its own nature. The flux should be changing by with respect to time. With respect to time means it should be like this. Flux should be a AC flux. AC flux is compulsory. AC flux is compulsory. Because no parts will move, coil will not move and magnet will not move. Then how the change in flux linkage happens? So the flux should be changing by its own nature. That's why we are applying AC flux in such machine. So with respect to time, flux will change. Flux will change. So, change in flux linkage happens. Example is transformer. In transformer, you cannot see any moving part. Now, on the other hand, we are having dynamically induced EMF. Okay. So, either conductor or magnet will move or will rotate. So, there is two options. We are having magnetic system and we are having conductor inside. First option, you can move the conductor. Otherwise, you have to move the magnet. So, moving a magnet means the construction will not be like this. That we will discuss later. Basically, in this subject, in this semester, we are discussing the dynamically induced EMF system where conductor is moving. Conductor is moving. For the time being, we are learning only this type. Conductor is moving. But there is one more option. The magnetic system can also rotate. But in this semester, we are not going to that topic. So, either conductor or magnet, one of these will move. So that the mechanical parts are ready to move. Then, which type flux we need? AC flux or DC flux? Why AC flux is needed in this type? In statically induced EMF, why AC flux is needed? Because no mechanical part is moving. That's why you are applying AC flux. Here, the coil or magnetic system, one of these components will move. Then what you need? You just need a DC magnetic flux or steady magnetic flux. Then When this conductor moves, flux linkage changes. In one position, flux linkage will be one value. On other position, its flux linkage will be another value. So there is change in flux linkage. So whenever flux linkage associated with a conductor changes, EMF is induced in it. Who said? Faraday said that. Whenever flux linkage associated with the conductor changes, EMF is induced in it. So in this system, EMF will induced. And can you say an example? Example, all generators and motors. All generators. In motors also, and motors. In motor also, you may have a doubt. Why EMF is induced in motor? Motor means it should rotate. That we will come. In all motor, there is also generation of EMF. That we will learn later. So all generators and motors are example of dynamically induced EMF. So first of all, you have to say the statement. Then you have to say there is two type induced EMF, statically induced EMF, dynamically induced EMF. If it is a big essay type question, you have to explain all these things. Otherwise, you can just say the examples only. Okay. Now, there is one more important thing for the Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. The magnitude of induced EMF is directly proportional to rate of change of flux linkage. Phi is flux. Generally, we are using phi to denote flux. So, as it is flux linkage, I am introducing new term psi. In some textbooks, you can see phi also. Both are correct. So, psi, what is psi? Psi is flux linkage. Flux linkage. So, what is the new point? The magnitude of induced EMF is directly proportional to rate of change of flux linkage. E is directly proportional to d phi by dt. Without this equation and this point, Faraday's law is not complete. So you have to add this also. The magnitude of induced EMF is directly proportional to rate of change of flux linkage. So this is Faraday's law. And now on the next topic, we will discuss the special separate case of a DC generator where conductor is moving, that is dynamically induced EMF in which conductor is moving. That separate case is taken for the detailed analysis. Okay, let's move to that in the next class. In that, some of the important things also comes in that one. In that, we have to learn Fleming's right hand rule. That is very, very important. So in next class, we will discuss Fleming right hand rule by checking the case of a DC generator.